Hi, welcome to the 2009 International Makeup Artist Trade Show here in London, England. And I'm here with not only a very good friend of mine and a respected makeup artist in the industry, and I mean very well respected makeup artist in the industry, my good friend, Erin Kruger McCash. Is that correct?
That's right.
That's her married name. I'm not quite used to it because you just recently were married 9 months ago to Mike McCash.
Yes.
Who is also related to Christian Tinsley.
Yes, his brother.
His brother. So you married within a good family.
I did. I was introduced to Mike through Christian.
That's very nice. How did that happen?
Christian and I were friends for many years, and then I did a movie called Alpha Dog, and I needed a lot more tattoos than just the here or there thing for other stuff I've done. So
more customized?
Yeah. And everything. It was like 8 characters that had different specialty tattoos, and so Christian recommended that I talk to Mike about, he handled, the majority of all the tattoo work at Tinsley.
He did all the graphics and all the customizing?
Yes, he did all the design work. So with my concepts and the actors' concepts, I met with Mike and he did all the design work. And we became friends. And
can you just share a little bit, this is more of a personal, when did you know that there was a little spark, after the work relationship started? I mean, just a little something.
He could do the Chewbacca growl. And I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I was like, aha.
Well, let's talk about you. We met so long ago when we both started out on the General Hospital set.
That was one of my first straight makeup shows that I did. I was mostly doing effects before that. So
I want to say that I feel that we really haven't honored or really exposed a lot of the innovativeness, that Nip Tuck kind of was in the infancy of bringing to television. I mean, we all know that there's a lot of prosthetic work and a lot of special effects and, a lot of that is available in film or independent film. But I think FX show Nip Tuck and you as the department head really started to incorporate a lot of the stories that were being told and a lot of the effects. Right. And I'd like you to really elaborate on that because first of all, it's exclusive that you're here so that we can talk to the artist. And I know you're very humbling, but I'm just saying this is, I don't think people really realize what it entails to do a show like that. I think they see it and they think that a lot of it's done in post and a lot of it's done here. And I'm sure there's a combination of the two. Can you kind of take us through the experience of, breaking down the show and when you have the special effects and working with the Bermans? Can you give us the FX exclusive of Nip Tuck?
Well, the most important thing I think would be that Tom and Barry Berman do all the effects on it, and they create all of the surgeries, they create all the specialty makeups,
and they're with Berman Effects, right?
Yeah,
that's their
Berman Studio.
Berman Studios, excuse me, Berman Studios.
And so they always have like a great host of guys that are their liaison that do a lot of the set work and things like that. They had Scott Stoddard one year, David Dupuis. And this year we had Tom Flouts, who of course is Oscar nominee for...
Tom Flouts, Oscar nominated for Hellboy 2 with year. Mike Elizalde.
Yes, Elizalde.
How did I do?
You did a good job.
Good.
And so he's the on-set guy right now, and the Bermans come on here and there too to do that stuff, but they're still creating all the effects. And they won the prosthetic Emmy for the pilot, which was amazing in itself. They created a character that looked different, and then when they took the prosthetics off, it was a different post-surgical look. So there were a couple years that they didn't have a liaison, and we were Stephanie and I were doing a lot of the things that the Bermans we didn't have time to do. We would do some of the scar work or some of the injuries. And
would they just have the pieces for you and hand them off?
Yeah.
Okay, that type
So
of
we
thing.
were doing that, and then they ended up getting a liaison, which was great because there was getting to be more and more and more, and we couldn't handle our huge cast. And a lot of the stuff.
So would your eyes just kind of go big as you're turning the pages of the script, and you would?
Yeah, and after a while, you just don't. That doesn't faze you at all. But there are a lot. I mean, they've created some amazing stuff. They did this conjoined twins episode where their heads were together, and this Mama Boone giant woman costume. And
how does it start? You're on the show. Here's this episode's script.
You get the first three. You got the first 3 acts.
Okay, so tell us where it goes from there. Take us through a little walk of what it's like. Your department head You and Stephanie
Most
get the
of the time,
script.
because it's episodic, you're going script.
Right.
Read, break it down, go.
Right.
And you're overlapping and doing 2 episodes at the same
And it's
time.
changing, and pages are changing. You get a multicolored script by the time you're in the 6th day of the 7th day episode.
Right. And sometimes you're just like, what happened in this one? And so a lot of the times, if it's something that our boss, Ryan Murphy, who created the show, has that he wants us to do specifically, sometimes he'll be like, I want you to do this part, or I'm going to have the Bermans do this. He'll give you a heads up about it, like a couple weeks in advance, so you can kind of get your head around it.
Kind of get warmed up with an idea,
He's
right?
like, we're going to have an episode that has this in it, and I want you guys to do it. Mm-hmm. One of the episodes we were nominated for, we did this this kind of dream sequence where Jolie Richardson's character dreams that she married Christian Troy as opposed to her husband, Sean McNamara. Mm-hmm. So there was a whole, how her life had changed, and it was like this fantasy thing, and it was inspired by all that jazz, and it was like had these incredible overtones, which we did end up getting a nomination for, which was one of my favorite shows that I worked on Nip Tuck. But Ryan Murphy also gave me the opportunity to age our cast 20 years in the future and have this, incredible what if kind of episode. Mm-hmm. And we aged Dylan Walsh, Julie McMahon, Jolie Richardson, John Hensley, and Peter Dinklage 20 years. And he wanted me to do this transfer method that I had done for Flags of Our Fathers, which ultimately didn't end up on film, but we did it on Ryan Felipe, Tanya McComas, department head, and I was the key. And Christian Tinsley had done all the effects for Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima for us. And he said, I have this process, this old age transfer thing. It's just like the injuries and stuff we do, but it's this transfer method that I've come up with for old age. And we were like, yeah, we want to do something new.
I remember hearing about that because my first introduction, just to kind of share a little bit of that, wow, what is this technique, was on Pirates, and when V. Neal
Christian did the first one.
Was introduced to Pirates of the Caribbean 1. And I remember that we had what they called a pirate class, where V brought in all the artists that were going to work on the bullpen of all the pirates.
I remember hearing about that.
She brought in the designer. I don't know if it was Christian Tinsley at the time. Probably was, because I was so like perky and ready to go that I didn't listen to names. I remember Dave Dupuis was there. Okay, and there was this whole method that we got, and we had demonstrations of you peel off the transfer, the protective coating. There was the 3D raised scar, okay, and then the paper, and then you would put it on, and you'd water back, and then pull it off, and then you would color, and you could use the real colors or Skin Illustrated, whatever kind of pigment you wanted to use. And I remember thinking, okay, I've got to do the new technique now. It's like, there's the lesson, and here's the pirates, let's do it.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, it's easy, not like easy, but I'm more familiar with it.
It's a very simple process.
But then it was like, okay, this slides off, but I can't think of not using them now. I think that, they're absolutely amazing. So I just wanted to share that. So I kind of remember when they first came out.
Yeah, and there was the first season of Nip Tuck, James had had a piece made, and we were like, ooh, this piece, oh my god.
And the aging, I want to hear about the aging with those.
He had done Find Me Guilty. He does Vin Diesel's makeup. Mm-hmm. And he had done these aging pieces on him, these nasolabial folds and like a forehead piece, and it was so cool, and it was
just
fast.
Slides off?
No, you actually put it, you can draw the edges with a pin on the back, and you have to kind of blindly get them in the right area.
Oh, and you put the pen so that then when it goes on, you get a little bit of the pen?
You just kind of you hold up, you kind of draw the outside on the back of the paper. So when Ryan said, I want you to do, because he had said, what did you do on Flags? I want to see what you did on Flags. So I was showing him, and he was like, oh, wow, this old age makeup is amazing. And I was like, oh, thanks, it's a new process. And Christian, was like, hey, go for it, you can do it. I was like, all right. So we did it. Yeah, it was very much like that. And because Clint Eastwood does not like to wait on makeup, so you're like, if we're going to do it, it's got to be this method.
Right.
We ended up doing, Tanya and I together ended up doing this 10-piece appliance makeup on
Flags of Our Fathers?
Flags of Our Fathers on Ryan Felipe in an hour and a half.
That's unheard of, that kind of time.
It was crazy. And we were whipping it out. One of us was doing, and we were coloring, but also the pieces kind of speak for themselves, so you don't have to do a ton of coloring with it. So Ryan said, that's what I want. So I was like, all right. He wants, the da-da-da-da, the flashy new stuff, right? So we ended up doing those makeups with silicone pieces, like silicone neck pieces and some other little things, earlobes, gelatin earlobes and things on Dylan, Julian, and Jolie. And then we did some painted things. Chris Nelson came in and did some painted work for me on Peter Dinklage and on John Hensley. In the meantime, while all this is going on, Bill Corso was designing a makeup for Drew Barrymore.
Grey Gardens.
Yes.
I saw that on the computer on Jessica Lange.
Right.
I saw his early on designs on his computer when we were on Indiana Jones.
They're amazing.
And first of all,
this is the same time. That's exactly the same time we were doing it.
I'm a big fan of the Grey Gardens, which is a documentary that you have to see.
I did some inspirational stuff for Ryan Murphy, also a fan of Grey Gardens. So it was like this whole big kind of...
Well, I'd like to take a small break, and we can come back, and I'd like you to talk a little bit more about Sabrina, and we'll kind of speed through your career because you have so much here. Not that I don't want to recognize your career.
No, it's fine. Touch on that. That's fine. That's
because now
Sabrina
you have. I want to talk about Nip Tuck and the effects and some of the innovative ideas that you brought to television that are now very common use, and I would really like to elaborate a little bit more on that. So when we come back, we're with Erin Kruger, a friend of mine, a very respected makeup artist, a funny girl. I love her. We're here at the 2009 International Makeup Artist Trade Show, and we'll be back with Erin Kruger. So we're going to go visit Florian David, who is makeup director for Makeup Forever. We're going to head over here and catch her very quickly because she has to go to another booth. So come with me. I'd like to introduce you to her. Florian, good morning.
Good morning.
Kelsey Fry, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
We're here with MUATV.com, and I was wondering if you had a few minutes we could chat you up about Makeup Forever. I know that you're having a 25th anniversary.
Exactly.
And I know that
very important year.
Yeah, very important year. As a makeup artist, I'm a big fan of Makeup Forever, and I work directly with Kevin Bennett,
yes,
who is your rep over there in New York City. He's always been very, very kind, and he's been very helpful for me as a makeup artist when I need certain products. And I know that you specialize in a lot of high-definition products.
That's correct.
I was wondering if maybe you could walk us through, and we could look at the Makeup Forever display. We could talk a little bit about your schooling in London and how we got started. So let's go over here, and then we'll stand side by side, and we can talk a little bit. So let's talk about the Makeup Forever High. Is this the new High Def product?
Actually, the new High Def products are those one. We have the HD primer. It comes in many different colors. You have the green, the transparent one, the purple, coral, yellow, and white blue. This is to actually correct different skin tone. Now, what you have to know then is Makeup Forever is in 47 countries, and we have many different demands. Like in the Middle East, people want to correct their skin tone, and they want to look slightly pinkier. So
you offer a full array of color correctors for all ethnicities all over the world.
Exactly. Like the purple primer base is very, very successful in Asia because the fashion over there, it's more about looking flawless, very bright.
Porcelain.
Exactly.
Because they have a lot of yellow undertone in their skin, so they kind of want to overcorrect that for a very fashion look.
So that's what they like, and that's the fashion over there. So we need to respect that. And also, I mean, we have Asian women all over the country, in the US, in London. So that's what mainly the purple base will be for.
Well, I think in makeup artistry, and especially with a company like Makeup Forever, who's celebrating 25 years, I know that you started with Makeup Forever in 1992, so you've been around for quite a while.
Yes.
How did you actually get involved with Makeup Forever?
Basically, this is a dream I had from I was a little girl, and I was lucky to actually meet Danny Sands' assistant. So Danny Sands is the founder of Makeup Forever. That's like 15 years ago, and then I ended up enrolling in the Christian Chevaux School, which was Danny's school. The courses I was teaching was mainly about fashion, and it was also about how to show students different skills like body painting, special effects, and incorporating those skills into a fashion concept. Because London, it's a lot about fashion.
Right.
So we have a marketing plan all over the world in many different countries. It's going to happen around springtime. Many makeup artists are going to do different events. But can I also...
Please.
That's the HD foundation.
Yes, no, we want to, because I actually use the product, and Kevin Bennett from New York actually was kind enough, because Makeup Forever, and I just want to say this, is that they're always very generous to professional makeup artists that are involved in certain things. You follow a criteria, and they speak with you, and I was able to get a sample so that I could try on my cast before I actually invested the production's money on buying the product. And he was extremely educational. He talked to me for an hour and was
He's very knowledgeable.
He's extremely knowledgeable. I really, really appreciated that in him. So I am a big fan. So let's talk about the high definition line.
Exactly. So right now it's a little star. We launched it actually last year at the LA trade show. We even didn't have the product yet, but we pre-order on order form. We just had samples, and it just fly out of the door.
I know.
Yeah. And now all the people who actually know about HD, how difficult is it to apply makeup on HD? I mean, the actresses are so stressed out because of the open pores, the line, everything. It's 6 times more details than what we can see. So we had to come out with a specific foundation which has no edges and which you can bring coverage without showing you made up. So the texture is very, very interesting. I didn't see...
And this goes through the airbrush
as
well,
yeah, exactly.
Which is I like. And that was something Kevin Bennett taught me too, is because if you needed to utilize a 244 or to dilute it, he was telling me that he actually was informing me of a higher grade, like 360, and he was really giving me some points and tips on really how to acclimate the product to maybe how I work it. And I've utilized it, and it's very, very good. And I love the high definition powder, which is fantastic.
High definition powder,
really micro fine.
If you put your finger, it's fly all over.
Fine.
So it's super, super fine.
Let's open that and see a little bit so you can see the product. There it goes. It's already exploding.
So you need a tiny touch.
It's really beautiful. It just kind of blends in and absorbs any type of shine or moisture that the makeup is...
Exactly. So the difference between this one and a regular powder with talc is first it's talc-free, 100% silica powder, and it doesn't look cakey or...
It doesn't create a buildup.
Exactly. You will look matte, but it still keep the glow of the skin, which make you look healthy and give you volume and hollow. Because that's what you want. You want to look alive on HD. So it's very important.
And usually mature women who like to use products don't like a lot of powder.
Yeah.
But they want to look youthful, but yet sometimes the light reflects so much in a film or television or theatrical presentation that you have to have some type of knock down that shine a little bit from the light reflection.
So, for many years we stay away from powder. That's why all the glossy texture was in fashion. But now we find a new technology of powder which you still look. You can use it on the wrinkle. It is not going to emphasize it, which usually
people are always afraid to powder underneath the eyes or rather than
because this will make it soft focus. But don't use it too much. That's all I can say.
Lightly. Any powder, I think, no matter what, very minimal.
Exactly.
Very
also, it's no colors, so you can use it on deeper skin tone. You can use it on any skin tone.
Yes, I've utilized this on African American skin or a darker skin tone.
They
and
love
it doesn't turn gray.
Yeah.
It doesn't get that ashy look. Right.
Exactly, because even transparent loose powder with talc, it still has colors.
Great. Let's go on to some of the fashion colors that you have and some of the eyeshadows and any of the lip colors that I love these. I have almost every one of these palettes myself. I really enjoy those palettes. I'm a bit of a palette fan.
Oh, really?
I like to have the palettes and the colors so I can mix back and forth.
Exactly. Actually, we have those nice highlight and shading powder. Those are new.
You want to open that so we can see that?
It's very cute packaging. We used to have a bigger size, but...
I have the old-fashioned, maybe it's not old-fashioned, but I have the palette that has the trays that lift out, and it has a little clasp, the Makeup Forever. You could have 3 levels of different colors.
Oh, yes. Good.
I love that.
So you have the shading and the highlight come in a different intensity. and very small, very easy to put it in your kit. So that's a new product.
Nice.
Design.
Well, I've really enjoyed meeting
Me
you
too.
and talking, and thank you for bringing us a little bit more awareness to Makeup Forever. And we'll see you over at the Guru booth.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Hi, welcome back to the International Makeup Artists Trade Show here in London, England, 2009. My friend Erin Kruger,
Yes.
makeup artist. We just were looking at the prosthetic competition. We'll come back and see who the winner is later. But we're going to finish up our interview with Erin. We're just going to walk through the convention center, talk a little bit. The last time we were, before we took the break, we were talking about Bill Corso and that innovative transfer aging process that was kind of in its infancy. You and Bill Corso. So you want to elaborate a little bit more?
Well, he
on
wanted
that?
he wanted to design the stuff for Grey Gardens with Christian and do all that work, and he wanted to try it out. So he actually came on and did Julian McMahon's makeup for me on that episode, because it's a great opportunity to try something new on television.
Right.
And it's like, well, let's just give it a go and see how it works.
What'll happen?
So Stephanie Fowler did Jolie Richardson. I did Dylan Walsh, who had more pieces. He had a ball pate and all kinds of stuff on him. So I did him.
So
and
Bill Corso
came in and did Julian, and it worked out great. And it was silicone pieces, transfer pieces. I think Dylan's was probably 10 pieces, and Jolie's was 6, and I think Julian's was 6. And so the thing was though, we ended up doing something totally different, and it was a really fast way to do that for episodic television, because you just don't have the time.
No, you just don't have time in episodic. And for those of you that don't know who Bill Corso is, I mean, you must know who Bill Corso is. Academy Award-winning Bill Corso for Lemony Snicket. And Bill Corso is also currently doing, or has finished, The Grey Gardens for HBO. You have to look for that. That's fantastic. And we've had Bill Corso over at the Joe Blasco Makeup Center West doing some demonstrations. Remember how he would do his wife? Transform her into like a man. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so he's an incredible artist.
You have to check out Bill Corso. He's absolutely
I've known Bill since he used to blow dry his hair.
Oh,
It's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago.
So why
don't you tell me more about the nominations and how, because you're on your last season of FX, right?
We're wrapping up 6 seasons. It's been an incredible opportunity, and we've had such a great time on it, and so many fun people on it, and innovative, creative stuff. And I'm going to try this out. My boss Ryan has always been the first person to say, "Yeah, give it a go. Just don't make it too over the top." And off he goes, and we do it. He goes, "I loved it." He's very trusting and tells me what he wants, and it always ends up turning out really well, and we just have a great time on the show. It's the same crew pretty much since season 1, and
well, I'm glad that we can really bring attention to how television is really is really setting a tone.
There's so many shows
for
like Pushing Daisies. Oh my God!
I'm so sorry that got canceled.
I know,
Todd
the most amazing
and David, but television is really really keeping in the competitive edge with film.
Yeah.
I think people really discount episodic sitcom television as not being on the cutting edge of a lot of new techniques. And I'm really glad you were able to bring to our audience kind of an understanding of nip tuck and where you kind of brought that innovation more forefront to television. I know that also
it was a big deal a few years ago. Now it's not quite as much because there's a lot of stuff going on now, but at the time it felt innovative anyway.
You are innovative. And I'm not just saying that because you are my friend. You are. You just have to take the compliments as they come.
Thank you.
But let's talk a little bit as we tie up our interview.
Yep.
We're enjoying the convention. Let's
talk
about the last few projects you're doing. One of my favorites that we talked about at dinner last night was the project that you're doing, which is a new sport, the roller derby that you did with Drew Barrymore. And if you can touch on just a few little projects, we'll finish our little cruise around and we'll tie this interview up, even though I'd love to talk to you all day.
Oh, we'll talk more. We have a lifetime to talk,
We have a lifetime, and we're going to do that Christian Tinsley transfer demo at his studio.
Yeah, he might even do it for you.
Oh, no, I want you to be there, and we're going to have Mike
the
there. McCash. We'll have Mike McCash there. So what did you finish up on recently?
Last year I did My Sister's Keeper was Cameron Diaz and Abigail Breslin, and it was about leukemia, and it was very sad.
Oh, can you tell that little story real quick? Let's pause for a second. I want you to tell that little story. About
Sofia Vasilieva, who's
Yes.
15 at the time. She's now 16.
Yes.
She's on medium, and she had this beautiful long blonde hair that we had to shave off for the leukemia patient because being a minor, we didn't have time for bald cap or eyebrow covers or anything. So she willingly shaved off her beautiful hair, but when it came time
and
to...
her hair, I heard you
it
tell
was
me
like
it was like
this
down
long
to
and
here.
like this big of a ponytail, like blonde, like this.
Donated it to the
She made a wig to wear on the show because she had
Okay.
to go back to her show, but then it will be donated to Locks of Blood.
So she made a wig
She had a
with
wig
her
made.
own hair. They ventilated a
Yeah.
wig with her own hair that she cut to wear in the show, and then she'll donate. That's amazing.
It's really cool.
Kudos to her for
Yeah,
that. That's
she's
really great.
A very smart girl. But when it came time, of course, to shave off her eyebrows, because
This is a great story.
we did the covers and everything, but ultimately
Eyebrow covers they're talking about.
eyebrow covers. Ultimately, having such very fine pores and everything, it was going to be a timing issue also, because of her being a minor. We ultimately had to tell her to shave, that she had to have her eyebrows shaved, and she was, just so upset. I'm 15. I've shaved my head. Why do I have to shave my eyebrows?
And how did you influence her? You told me last night how you influenced her.
I said the actress on Lavigne Rose shaved her eyebrows, and she kind of, you're right, I just need to suck it up. So as she's trying to get it, are you sure they're going to grow back? Yes, they're going to grow back. They're going to grow back.
But people are afraid that if you shave your eyebrows, they're not going to grow back. And
They grow back a little stiff, but then they loosen up.
They loosen up
and
a
they get
little bit.
longer.
So it's not true. It's a myth if you think you shave your eyebrows and then you never grow back. It takes a little while to get back to that soft texture.
Yeah. And then she, of course, at the time when she was very upset about it, our director came into this, trailer, and all the girls are in there, and Cameron Diaz is in there going like, you can do it, and everyone's like, yes, you can do it. And Nick came in and he's like, look, I can do it, and just shaved his eyebrows off.
The director?
Yeah.
The director came in and shaved his eyebrows off to influence.
He's like, look, I just did it just like that. And she was like, you're making it worse. She was just so upset.
So his influence to come in and say, I can do it, actually made her feel worse about
really
doing it. That's
but of course,
funny.
she got to see that his
kudos
eyebrows
to the director.
did grow in, really quickly.
Kudos
so.
to the director for doing
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
no
he's a
directors
very,
would come in and shave their eyebrows to get their leading.
He's a very ballsy guy.
That's
it's
very,
great to
very
work for.
funny.
So I did that show, and then I did right after that. Because of Cameron's people, Robin Fredericks and Lana Vigi, they recommended me to Drew Barrymore, who was directing Whip It and starring in Whip It. So we had all these women. I had 30 makeups to design. Some of them were, they were really fun makeups, like skull makeups and Mexican wrestling mask makeups, and we just did, and then really fun glamour makeups, bright colors, lashes, and all kinds of stuff. And we had to deal with them being on roller skates for 14 hours a day, 15 hours a day sometimes on these bank tracks.
You told me that last night that the bruises that these women would get were like hematomas.
Huge.
They come in from getting injured. Did you
like,
have to...
like shoulder to butt, full back.
Like
we had a
full-on
wall
body
of pain.
bruise. Wall of
Everybody
pain.
come in and go, oh, look at this big new one, and we take a picture and put it on the wall. And Stephanie Fowler, Mike McCash were my keys on that.
Right.
And then I had 3 great local girls in Michigan.
Who are they? Let's
Kim
give them
Jones.
some kudos to Michigan.
Kim Jones, Kim Kirkpatrick, and Vicky Vaca. They were my backup team, and they were amazing. And they did most of the girls while we were getting all their main girls ready.
Right. And
It was
you
a
told me
great
it was
experience.
really a lot
It was
of heat.
very hard.
It was hard because of the heat.
The
because
heat,
of the
the
humidity,
sweating, yeah, it
the
was
lights.
The lights.
So
it was
a
hard.
very. You said it.
Very
Didn't
physical.
you say it was almost one of the most really challenging projects you had?
It
That's
was.
what you were saying.
It was a lot of fun too, but it was very challenging.
It's always fun afterwards.
Yeah, you go. Oh yeah,
That was
fun.
really fun.
Yeah, but it was at the moment you're just keeping on top of it and getting it done every day and getting these people out, as fast as possible. All these actresses, and it was all professional roller derby girls too, and they were fantastic to work with. So
that's fantastic. So what are you on to now besides visiting with us and doing
some demos for you guys and having a great time in London?
What do you do after London when you go back to home?
I will go back home and I will start Ryan Murphy's new TV series called Glee.
Glee.
Yes, and then possibly he's got quite a few movies coming up, but hopefully doing a movie with him, or Nick Cassavetes got something coming up maybe too. So we'll see. It's yes to everything.
It's yes to
and
everything. That's my new motto.
It's yes
to everything.
Yep.
That's a really good motto.
Yeah, I always say
that.
that.
Well, I don't think you have to worry about what you were concerned about when Sabrina ended, whether or not you'd ever work again, because it seems like you haven't stopped. You've been like a runaway train, and you'll keep going that way. And I'm really, really pleased that you took the time out to talk, because I know interviewing for people It's very nerve-wracking. And
oh, it's so easy with you, Kelsey.
Oh, thank you so much. Check her out. New movie will be coming out, Whip It, with Drew Barrymore.
Yay.
We look forward to seeing you later today at the convention. We're going to catch up with some more of the vendors. We're going to go look at the competition and have more interviews to come. We thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks.